G'day coppers, welcome back to the bush. In this episode of Lockups for Driving, we're going to be checking out how you can charge your Tool Lithium Ion Batteries to charge fans, blowers, or maybe even your electric chainsaw when you're away from mains power. First up, let's have a look at the options. So there's two conventional ways to charge your power tool lithium ion batteries. One being using mains power, and the other of course using the commercially available car chargers. Now they're available for a lot of the tool batteries, but not all, and they run off your car 12 volt system, and we'll look at that in more detail in a second. So the vast majority of lithium tool batteries available are 18 volts. So you're going to need a dedicated charger to charge it off 12 volts, like this one from Makita. Now they use what's called a switch mode power supply, and basically all it does is it boosts the voltage from 12 volts coming out your car to the 18 volts or thereabouts required to charge your battery. So you're going to need a dedicated charger to charge your battery. Your other option of course is a traditional mains powered charger like this one from Makita that you plug into a wall. Now they're great, but the problem with that is firstly you need a supply of mains power, and we'll get to that in a minute. And then you need to change from the 230 volts in Australia mains power back down to the charging voltage, which will be a little bit over 18 volts, and it's DC. So mains power is AC or alternating current, and the battery work on DC or direct current. Now the process to change from AC to DC, they're a fantastic band actually, is what's called rectification, and that changes AC to DC, and then you need to regulate the voltage down to the voltage for charging the battery, or in this case just over 18 volts. But where are you going to plug it in? You can't plug it into the nearest tree. We'll get to that in a second. Now in order to use a mains power charger in the back of your four-wheel drive to charge your batteries, you're going to have to use an inverter. Now what an inverter does is it takes a 12 volt DC from your vehicle and changes it back into 230 volts in Australia or thereabouts AC or alternating current. So then you can use your conventional mains powered charger. But every time you manipulate voltage, you lose efficiency. So these things take power to run, and we'll get into that in a minute. But first up, a community service announcement. Now this is important, so come a little closer. A little closer. Right, now I've got your undivided attention. You might say to me, Simon, I've already got an Insta79 game-changing build with 250 amp hour of lithium ion batteries supplying my 2000 watt full sine wave inverter that runs my induction cooktop and my coffee machine. Copper, you need to have a good hard look at yourself. We're camping, we cook on fire. Right, now we've got that out of the system, let's get back to how long it's going to take to charge these batteries with the various options we have. So here's how long it took to charge both the Ryobi and the Makita 5 amp hour batteries from completely flat. Now with the Ryobi 12 volt charger, we took 1 hour and 36 minutes. With the Ryobi mains charger, we took considerably longer. We took 2 hours and 22 minutes. The Makita 12 volt charger, 1 hour 39 minutes, and the Makita mains charger, again through the inverter, 1 hour and 36 minutes. So all our options were about 1.5 hours to fully charge a completely flat 5 amp hour battery, whether it be Makita or Ryobi, except for the mains powered Ryobi charger, which took nearly 2.5 hours. But did you notice the current draw? Let's have a look at that now. And here's the current draw from the accessory battery with the various chargers. So the Ryobi 12 volt charger for starters, 5.8 amps. The Ryobi 230 volt mains charger through the inverter was drawing less. It was only drawing 5 amps from our accessory battery. The Makita 12 volt charger, 5.3 amps. And the Makita mains powered charger, again through the inverter, was drawing 6.5 amps from our accessory battery. So all of the battery chargers draw about 5 amps of current from your accessory battery, with the exemption of course of your mains powered Makita charger. Now, whilst the Ryobi charger only draws 5 amps, it draws it for a considerably longer period of time. Most of the chargers are an hour and a half versus the Ryobi charger for nearly 2.5 hours. And that's what matters. You need the minimum amount of current draw for the minimum amount of time to be the most efficient. And that's called amp hours, or how much charge it's taking out of your accessory battery. So let's check that out. And here's the important one, the one that tells us which is the most efficient means to charge our batteries. Now, with the Ryobi 12 volt charger, to charge the 5 amp hour battery, we used 8.3 amp hours. Charging exactly the same battery through the inverter and the mains powered charger, we used 9.8 amp hours of our battery. So that's an 18% increase in battery usage to charge exactly the same battery. When we go over to the Makita, we use 7.8 amp hours of battery to charge our 5 amp hour battery through the 12 volt charger, and when we went through the mains charger, the conventional charger, using the inverter, up to 9 amp hours. So we used an additional 15% of our power to charge exactly the same battery using the mains charger and the inverter versus the 12 volt charger. And there we go, the data never lies. The proof is in the pudding. With the Ryobi chargers, we lost 18% efficiency going from an inverter setup to a dedicated car charger, and with the Makitas, we lost 15% efficiency. So you're going to require bigger batteries, more solar, a larger alternator. All this stuff adds up. If you can increase efficiency, that's what you need to do. And you might say to me, well, I only go for a weekend up the high country, I can probably bring a couple of extra batteries. But if you're going for 2 weeks out and you come across fallen timber and you're using something like your chainsaw, which absolutely plows through the batteries, you're going to need some sort of system to charge your batteries. And the most efficient charger is a dedicated car charger or 12 volt charger. More efficient than using an inverter and mains chargers. So what do we think in the end? So in the end, now if you've already got your game-changing 79 build with the before mentioned 2000 watt full sine wave inverter in the back of your four-wheel drive, well, probably a mains charger makes sense. But if you're like the rest of us and perhaps have 105 amp hour AGM, and that runs your fridge and all your accessories, and reliant upon things like charging batteries, for less than a price of a Tool battery, you can get a 12 volt charger. Not only will you be saving money, you'll be saving power from your battery charge as well. It's a no-brainer in my book. Anyway guys, let us know what you think down in the comments. And if you like this video, give it the old thumbs up. And if you didn't, by all means, give it a thumbs down twice. Thanks guys, we'll see you in the next one. Social media intro, take 379. Oh dear. G'day coppers, welcome back to the bush. In this episode of Lockhub's 4-wheel driving, we're going to be looking at how you can charge lithium ion batteries when you're away from mains power tool. G'day coppers, welcome back to the bush. In this episode of Lockhub's 4-wheel driving, we're going to be checking out how you can maybe I need a battery in my hand.